Hello and welcome to episode 74 of the Youth Intake Challenge, and we are building for probably the most exciting season yet as we take our first foray into Europe. So take a look at who the new members of the squad are. And welcome back. We'll kick off with the competitions that looks much healthier than it has done in previous years. We've got the Premier League, we've got the Europa League, both cups, and then we've got the Community Shield as well, which we'll play on the opening day of the season today. Looking at what's been going on development centre wise, again we've sent a number of players out on loan, not as many as last season. We've let a few players go as their contracts have expired and they didn't have the potential to move forward. We've boosted the squad size to 30 instead of 25 to cope with the additional stress of the European competition. Club vision wise, we've managed to get rid of sign high profile players, although the original transfer budget is still in there and we're still not doing great on defensively solid football. However, we are doing alright and develop the best youth system in the country, which is no surprise, and we've got some additional ones relating to the UEFA Cup. Looking at the transfers in terms of going out, it's just the loans. This time I've tried my best to make sure everyone's got a loan fee in there just to try and keep the board appeased. I'm not too fussed really about the ones that go out without a fee because we want them to get some game time. Some of them players may come back and compete for first team. Giwa, Civiganidis are the two main ones, but all told that's pretty good. Schedule wise, the friendly's been played and we've scored a huge amount of goals, 24 goals all told. We had a 10-0 victory over Levico, a hat-trick for Rosa, 2 for Primus, etc. You can see in here as well that Remy Littman's been getting some game time. Primus is firing again, so it's all looking good. We've got a huge boost and a huge bit of momentum going into the start of the season. Dynamics wise, we're all pretty happy. Candidate's now moved on, so that problem's gone. Staff wise, there's a couple people to recruit, but we've just put out an advert for some more scouts. They've been poached by other Premier League clubs, so we need to kind of fettle that, get that back in and move us back up to the top end. But it's an opportunity to kind of improve where we are in terms of the other clubs in the league. Tactics wise, we're going to keep the same. I don't think there's any real need to change it. We were doing well towards the end of the season. It suits the players and we've got some succession planning coming in to take over them spots. In terms of the squad itself, like I said, we're up to 30 players this time, so an extra 5 just to keep us going and add some flexibility in there. They're a mixture of the same kind of base we had last season, but we've brought 8 new players into the squad who we'll take a look at now. Probably easier to look at it from this screen. What I've done is I've penciled in what I think the first team squad looks like as of the end of the season last year, which is on display there. And what I've done is I've put on the bench all the players who've been added into the squad, plus Josh Harris, who was there last year. So Ricardo Duncan, he's coming in as another goalkeeper, 5-star potential. And I think this is because Ibrahim's probably... he's still our number one goalkeeper, Ibrahim, but we need to phase him out. And between the players we've got Ricardo Duncan, resolute goalkeeper, huge amount of potential, probably our highest potential goalkeeper, competing with Kutlu. Do we move him on? I mean, there's Kutlu against Duncan. Kutlu's still the best in terms of the next keeper to step up, but Duncan's not too far away in terms of the reports as well. Potentially Premier League division standard. You can see down the bottom right just below my head, although you can't see the ability ratings, but Ibrahim's number 1, Kutlu's number 2. It's got here Jeremiah Dinan as number 3, but actually Ricardo Duncan's got the highest potential threshold out of 3 of them. He's got a guaranteed 4 stars and gusting up to 5, so he's the first one we're going to get kind of on the bench, developed, maybe play him in the odd game here and then, get him some exposure. Whether we let Felix Ibrahim go, he's 28 years old, he's got a bit of financial value to him, but he's still an experienced goalkeeper, so he might play out the whole of this season. We'll see how he goes, because we've got some really good goalkeepers at the club and we need to bring one forward that's going to be of a Premier League standard. After that, we've got Victor Brinkhurst, came through the latest youth intake, 188 centimetres tall, really good stat development from a centre half. He's only 16, and he's probably not quite at the level to get a lot of game time. However, we're going to try and drip feed him some exposure to the team in games where we're doing particularly well, or perhaps in the cup. But he's the highest potential centre back we've got at the club, so we really need to get him in and develop him as quickly as possible. So I'm looking forward to seeing him get introduced into the squad. Paul Brown, defensive midfielder. He wasn't going to be in the squad, but Guy was gone out on loan. So Paul Brown's going to come in. He's going to get some game time probably in the European games and the cup games, just as a rotational player. But again, driven personality, which we all know is my favourite. It's still up for discussion. Promising midfielder, good first touch and technique. So he should get some time, and he's got a Mohican as well. So who can argue against the Mohican? So Paul Brown coming in at the centre midfield. Alongside Seamus Byrne, who had he was kind of in and out of the squad last year. Get really good technical player, high potential threshold, and again we just want to develop him along the way. It's a really good opportunity through some of the cup games and the European games to get him in there. So that's two centre midfielders we've got in there. Next one is Adam Bent. Again, another one up to 5-star potential. These are all 4.5 5-star potential players. He's a right winger. Again, his stats are already pretty good, crossing, dribbling and finishing. He's got good agility, his acceleration, his pace is really good. So he's a rapid winger on the right hand side, and I think Silverio's exposure to the first team is going to be limited a bit, because I think Adam Bent, and we've got another one coming through, need to get the game time to take over, and I think he's got the potential and he's got the attributes to make that happen quite quickly. After Adam Bent, we got Lilafan Samana, who we had out on loan, 19-year-old Thai player, driven personality, so another favourite because I think he'll do well. Tries killer balls often, but again, he's technical, he's determined, he's got the work rate, and again, he's quite pacey. So between them two youngsters on the right hand side, I see Silverio kind of drifting out of the squad somewhat. After Samana, we've got Benedict Joseph, a player coming in on the left hand side. Again, huge potential. Comparing him with Littman's probably the best one to get him for, because Littman's who we were bringing through last season, and you can see in the spider graph at the bottom, green is probably better in some aspects than blue. They're very similar, but Benedict Joseph's got the higher threshold in terms of his attributes. I think technically Benedict Joseph is already better overall. Mentally he's better overall, and physically I think just pace and acceleration runs into Littman's side, but Joseph I think has a couple of years to maybe catch up on him. So that's going to be a battle that's interesting to see. And then finally Gary Liebert, another driven player, centre forward, been away out on loan. He's going to come in for some game time as an understudy to Rakim Primus. I don't think he's labelled as being the next anything. Yeah, he's not. So we'll see how he gets his game time. But I mean, that's a squad, 8 new players getting integrated into the squad to make it a 30-man. Some of the other old favourites are in there. Roldan's in there, but I can't see him getting much game time. I would imagine he's going to come and ask for a loan or a sale at some point, but we'll cross that bridge when we get to it. But outside of that, the best thing to do now is to go for the first trophy of the season and the Community Shield against Spurs. So stick around and we'll see if we can kick off the season off the back of some really good friendlies with a victory against Spurs. Welcome back for the opening game of the season, Charity Shield. We've got Ibrahim in goals. We've got Harris coming in at left back, hoping to make that his first team place this season. We've got Clifford de Havilland and Brewstad finishing off the back four. That's because James Carter's injured. He should be back in the future, but he should become one of our first team centre halves. Ovier is going to sit deep this gate with Mandander in alongside Sarkodie. Silverio will start on the right hand side, but we've got plenty of players on the bench who can come on and replace him. Oz is going to start on the left, and then Primus up front. So it looks like it's going to be an exciting one. I'm going with the tried and tested for the opening game of the season. I'm not going to bring any of the youths on too early, but we'll see how they get on. I think Spurs won the league last year, so they're a force to be reckoned with, but I think we're on a fine run of form. The fixture seems to be clicking. The players have developed pretty well. I have signed a number of the players on longer term contracts. I'm working on Sarkodie. He's still got 3 years left on it, but I want to get him back up to a 5. The sticking point is his agent keeps trying to put in a transfer release clause for Champions League clubs, which I'm not prepared to do, having lost Sodge to a similar clause. So I'm just going to keep trying at that over the next few months to see if we can get him tied down for a 5-year contract, because I think the key now in developing this next step, now that we're in Europe as well, is to really hold on to our best players and get something in around them so that they don't get upset with a weaker squad, etc. But I think Sarkodie, Overhagen are really good in the middle. We've got a couple of young midfielders coming through to play alongside them, and we've got 8 5-star potential players integrating into the squad that hopefully we can make the squad stronger around them to the point where they don't want to leave. Once we get to that point where players don't want to leave, that's when we can really say we've made it, I think. But Sarkodie with a free kick, deflects wide. Oza gets to go back into the box, but he runs into a cul-de-sac. So 25 minutes in, not a lot of chances. Looking at the other players around the squad, I just think it's a transitional one. We've got 8 players to integrate. Whether all 8 will be anywhere near first team security by the end of the season, I don't think that's going to happen. Certainly Liebert, I can't see ousting Primus. I can't see 2 new centre midfielders becoming first team stalwarts. It looks like we're giving away a penalty. It looked a bit weak. He didn't even go down. It was just a little bit of a tug, but it's been awarded. Spurs will step up. Chance for Ibrahim to show why he should be number 1 as Gilmario steps up, and it's been scored. So we're a goal down. Not terribly surprising. I don't think we'll look at the highlight of the penalty, but not terribly surprising. But still, it's only 1-0 with half an hour gone in the game. I don't know where he was going there. He didn't think he was ever going to stop running as Spurs come forward looking for a quick second, and we get away. Primus on his own up front, running into the corner well, trying to lay it back to Sarkodie, but the support wasn't quite where he needed it to be. Yeah, so as I was saying, I can't see the 2 young midfielders integrating into that straight away. The centre half, we've only got 4 centre halves named as kind of first choice stars, so Brinkhurst will be the 5th. So I can see him getting a lot more game time than some of the others, just through rotation. Right wing, I think, is up for grabs. I think that'll definitely be somebody's slot by the end as Primus gets his first goal of the season to make the tie level. A lovely bit of work down the left hand side by Oza, slotted into the middle. Primus deep with the ball as well. Look at that, he's continued his run. Oza gets across, and he just halts slightly, steps back, ball comes back behind the defenders, and he slots it into a fairly straightforward finish. So 1-1, Primus with another chance to work something just before half time. Overhagen, it was a lovely work free kick as he turned in around the back, but finish wasn't perfect. Sarkodie with a free kick as well, so finished the half quite strong there. As we go into 4 minutes of injury time, I thought we were just about over there. I don't think there's any real need to change anything. We'll go out happy, dominating the possession, which is what we want to do this season, is carry on that possession play. Sarkodie down the right to Silverio, and as I was saying, I think Silverio will come out, whether it's Lilafan Samana or not. I think somebody's got to kind of make that right hand side their own. Left hand side is a bit trickier. This Deacon gets a goal and puts Spurs 2-1 up right at the start of the second half. So they've done the better at that half-time team talk. We had the ascendancy and the momentum. Half-time's kind of killed us a little bit, and they've managed to get back into the game. Takes a first touch and scores. So he's touted as one of the players of the season, Deacon. So again, it's not a terrible surprise that he's got a goal, but we'll see what we can do. Silverio not having a great game, so it kind of makes the point I was trying to make while I was waffling on. We'll get Patrick Prepper on and see if he can get himself a goal, or try and get himself in there ahead of the youngsters like Samana. So yeah, that's another position that's up for grabs. Fullbacks, I don't really. Josh Harris might make it his own at left back. Bukuru's probably going to be in with a shout as well, but it'll come down to who's got the high potential threshold. But I think last season we ended up with maybe 2 or 3 players who were of a real good quality Premier League standard. We need to get that number up, probably to 6 or 7, if we want to be truly competitive at the top end of the league. So we'll see. 25 minutes to go, 2-1 down. Players starting to get a little bit tired, but there's not too much in terms of great changes I can make as Spurs get another shot into the box, hits the post, Brewstad gets it clear. Is there anyone we can bring out to really make an impactful change? Oviehan off for Robbie Harris. Lippman, no, probably not, because Ozer's playing alright. Harris for Bakuru. And we'll see if we make any difference in the final 20 minutes. Spurs again coming forward. I mean, we ended the season, ended the half really strong, but they've come out with some impetus and intent, and I think they're just a little bit too much for us at the minute. Sarkodie winging it back. Primus going forward on his own, lovely little run, but he couldn't quite get this shot on target. But that's what he offers up front. Is every now and then he can go on a bit of a run and get a shot at the end of it. Sarkodie with a corner, then Clifford plays it back out to him. Didn't know if that was going to be offside. As Oza slams one into the back of the net, and that's why we didn't take him off. He was having a good game. Lovely little finish. Ball initially headed cleared. Clifford keeps it alive to Sarkodie, picks out Oza at the edge of the box, and that is a fine finish into the far corner. So 15 minutes to go. We're still in with a chance. Substitutions hopefully going to make a good impact as Spurs come forward again with Barbosa. And I thought they were going to get straight back ahead there, which would have been a bit frustrating as they got a corner. Stojanovic will sling it in. Can the players get it clear? Yes, Mandanda will break. Have we got enough players up alongside him? It goes over to Pepper. Can he find a man? Oh, he nearly got that across. I thought he was going to shoot it first, but he made the right option. Just couldn't quite get it. As Sarkodie looks to create something down the left this time. Into Oza again. So we're ending the half strong again. Sarkodie with a corner where we got some benefit last time, and it goes cleared straight away. So Pepper not having a great game since he came on the right hand side, but then neither was Silverio. 7 minutes to go. Spurs looking to create another chance, and Schmidt's got it this time. I don't know if we've got enough time to get another equaliser. We will shout some encouragement as we go into the final 5 minutes. It's certainly been a great game. If you were watching this on your Sunday afternoon and you were a neutral, this is probably a good game of football to watch. Spurs with the ball, we've got to find some way to win it back. Deacon's got it on the left. I don't think we're getting it back on this attack. Hit the crossbar twice and then he scored. I mean, an offside might save us, but just for the sheer freakish nature of the goal, I'm quite keen for it to stand, and it does. So Deacon puts it in. Keeper in no man's land. Off the bar once, off the bar twice. Schmidt picks up the rebound. So very reminiscent of a goal Origi scored against Everton once in one of the Merseyside derbies, which sticks in the mind. But again, Spurs probably deserved it overall. Just playing the final few seconds of the game. However, what I would say is we've competed with one of the best teams in the Premier League who won it last year. We've been in the game for large periods. We've scored a couple of goals, and I think it bodes well for the season as a whole as we go into Europe. Nothing more to say really then, apart from let's get on with the season, see how we get on. I'll pop back when we get to the youth intake preview. Hopefully we're still in some of the European competitions. We'll maybe show a European game at some point if we're still in it. But until next time, enjoy your football, enjoy your saves, and I'll see you soon.